Day 20, look at it, gentlemen and ladies, day 20. Where is Prajwal Revanna? Everyone is asking that question. He is, of course, absconding. I shall keep asking this question unless Prajwal Revanna is nabbed. On 26th April, when voting concluded in Hassan, this alleged sexual offender, Prajwal, flew off to Germany. They say he was in Munich and is sitting there despite a blue corner notice by the SIT, which was constituted by the Siddaramaiah government. As we all know, Prajwal's father, S.T. Revanna, former minister and Janata Dal secular MLA, was taken into custody and is now out on bail, but with some preconditions. We shall tell you what the preconditions are. I mean, it will come up on your screens as it were, but today our focus is actually squarely on how did Prajwal Revanna escape and remains at large. Who is to blame? Of course, there have been political accusations, and even RJD leader Tejasvi Yadav said, and I am quoting him here, our 2,500 sisters were exploited in Karnataka, said Tejasvi Yadav. Who is the one responsible for it? The alliance partner of the BJP. We came to know that he has escaped to Germany now. After he said it, the BJP in turn trained its guns on the ruling Congress government in Karnataka, and Amit Shah said you did not initiate any action until the elections in the Vokkalega belt were over. You did politics and allowed him, that is Prajwal Revanna, to escape. That is what the Home Minister of this country said. Let me now focus on who let Prajwal escape. The diplomatic passport that he held. There are several rules and regulations which is about a diplomatic passport, and let me now put this up on the screen for all of you as to what do you mean by a diplomatic passport. He was authorized for a diplomatic or type D passport. It's up on the screens right now. MEA is issued a passport to those who represent the country. Ladies and gentlemen, diplomats, government officials or their immediate family can be issued a diplomatic passport. That is what the rule is. The diplomatic passport holders enjoy certain privileges and immunities, which is but of course the rule. Protection from arrest, detection and some legal proceedings abroad. That is also a privilege enjoyed. Visa-free entry to 34 nations including Germany. That's the mute point here. Short duration travel between 30 to 90 days under a diplomatic passport is yet another rule. 2011 bilateral agreement allows visa-free travel up to 90 days to Germany. Look at this, the man is still absconding, despite that political clearance mandatory for Germany. Type D passport barred from personal or commercial use. How did this man go there if it was not personal? It's barred. MPs required to apply for prior political clearance with the Ministry of External Affairs. So that's the entire diplomatic passport. If you hold this, that is the entire rule. Prajwal authorized for a diplomatic or type D passport, whether or not, that's what we are going to actually discuss it today in this main story of ours, because it's day 20 and Prajwal Revanna is still absconding. Of course, now let's listen into what Siddaramaiah said about who let Prajwal flee. Listen in and I'll come back.
ದೇಶಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಯಾರು ಪಾಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಕೊಡೋರು?
ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಸರ್ಕಾರ
ವೀಸಾ ಕೊಡೋರು ಯಾರು? ಇವ್ರಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಹುಟ್ಟೋದಲ್ಲ.
ಎಲ್ಲ ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಕಳಿಸ್ತಾರಂತೆ ಸರ್. ಎಲ್ಲ ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಮಾಡಿ.
ಹೌದು, ದೇವೇಗೌಡರೇ ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಕಳಿಸಿದ್ರು ವಿದೇಶಕ್ಕೆ. ನಂಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟಿಗೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಲಿ. ಈಗ ನಾನೇ ಎಲ್ಲನೂ ಮುಂಚಿತವಾಗಿ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು ಹಂಗಾಗ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ ಊಹೆ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ತನಿಖೆ ಮಾಡಲಿ. ನಾವು SIT ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ನಾವು ರಾಜಕೀಯವಾಗಿ ಇಂಟರ್ಫಿಯರ್ ಆಗಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ. SIT ಆ ಏಜೆನ್ಸಿ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇಂಟರ್ಫಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿ ರಾಜಕೀಯವಾಗಿ ಬಳಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ತನಿಖೆ ಮಾಡಲಿ, ಕಾನೂನು ಪ್ರಕಾರ ತನಿಖೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಅವನು ಸಾಕ್ಷಿ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಶಿಕ್ಷೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂತ.
In this entire political tit for tat, you let him go, you let him go. I'm asking you, was the local police too slow to react? For example, the special investigation team of the Criminal Investigation Department had delayed recording the statement of the victim by 4 to 5 days after she was rescued in the alleged abduction case registered against former minister H.T. Revanna. What are the legal implications if Prajwal returns? And what if he does not return? Let's debate. I've got two guests, Bhaskar Rao, former Commissioner of Police in Bangalore, and Dr. Kapil Sankhla, who's an advocate of the Supreme Court. A very, very warm welcome to both of you. Mr. Rao, I want to ask you, this slugfest between, oh, the police was too slow. Why did the police allow? Then the Ministry of External Affairs saying, well, no notification, visa notification was issued because, you know, it was not required. In all this, sir, we put the diplomatic passport rules, sir, Mr. Rao, on the screen. It says that you cannot go for a personal or a commercial visit just like that. Please explain this, decode this for our viewers, sir.
See, you have to see the chronological setting of things which have taken place
Yes,
after
sir.
that. When when the person fled the country, was there a criminal case against him? There was no criminal case against him. So when he has fled the country, when the state government had not even booked a criminal case, how can the Ministry of External Affairs or the passport control or immigration stop a person from going? Only after he has left the borders of the country, a criminal case was registered and then the SIT was created. So you cannot fault the government of India or immigration.
Mr. Rao,
Say-
Mr. Rao, with due apologies to you, sir, because the diplomatic, if someone can put up that graphic in that, one plate says very clearly,
Please listen to me, madam. Please listen
sir,
to me. We
personal
have all
and
been-
commercial, you can't make a
we have
visit.
all been practitioners of law
Yes, sir.
enforcement.
Yes, Mr.
See,
Rao.
if a diplomatic passport is given to somebody, they can go into the number of countries where they are designated to go. So, if immediately after the perpetrator has committed an offense and he decides to flee the country, there is no case registered against him at that point when he was fleeing. And then the police also had no intimation where he is. So how will you able to inform government of India? Government of India was not even informed. In fact, after having your state local intelligence known that such a thing was brewing up, it was up to the local law enforcement authority to take action. So why are you blaming the government of India for allowing? He is a honorable member of parliament, like any other member of parliament, and in possession of a diplomatic passport over there. Every passport holder is not questioned where he is going, why he is going, when there is when not wanted by any police.
Mr.
Only
Rao,
after
I completely
case was
concur and
registered.
respect your views. You are an extremely senior person and I respect what you say.
The case was registered.
But, sir, sir, Mr. Rao, you know, I totally concur with you, sir. But there is something that I'm asking you to decode it. Apparently, those who are diplomatic, if I have two passports, one is a diplomatic one, I'm asking you, I could be wrong. I'm an MP, I have a diplomatic passport, I also have a personal passport. Maybe I can travel on my personal passport on a holiday with my kids. Can I travel on a holiday on my diplomatic passport without anyone knowing about it?
Madam, to the best of my knowledge, any individual in the country can have at any point of time only one passport.
All right.
I also in possession of an official passport. You have to surrender your personal passport when you are in possession of another passport.
Yeah, because
Having
I
two
want,
passports
yeah,
is
okay,
very
Mr. Rao, I've
fine.
understood, because there is one thing, the diplomatic passport, Rao, there it is on the screens, there it will come up slowly because there is one plate and I maybe, you know, it's there, you know, family can be issued one. There is one more which will come up and I'm waiting for it. There
Madam,
are
you
certain
cannot have two
privileges.
passports simultaneously.
Mr. Rao, just a minute. Mr. Rao, thank you for your patience, sir. I'll go to Kapil ji and then maybe I'll come back to that. Kapil ji, tell me something. There is a blue corner notice. To today, sir, the question is that we can do as many politics as it is on it. There are women there who are being harassed, sir, in Hassan. They are being shamed. They have been ostracized, sir. They are scared. They are now saying that the men in our own family are telling us, casting aspersions on us. Can you imagine? It's a double whammy for those women in Hassan, sir. It is horrible. I want to ask you one thing. There is a blue corner notice against this man. What if he says I'm absconding because 90 days in Germany where you can stay apparently and he does not come back. He fled on the 27th night, let's say 28th morning. I'm not getting into, you know, the when exactly. But the point is, sir, today it's been 20 days or let's say 21 days, right? He has immunity till 90 days. What happens next, Mr. Kapil Sankhla?
First of all, madam, my heart goes out to all these women
Yes.
who unfortunately probably suffered this fate. And it is very unfortunate that a person with some kind of political might has escaped the long arms of law only because he actually enjoys diplomatic immunity. Now, before I tell you about the red corner notice and the blue corner notice, the diplomatic immunity that is granted in terms of the diplomatic passport is immense. You can't be arrested, you can't be questioned. The police in any country cannot hold you. But what can happen once either a red corner notice or a blue corner notice is given? The difference is this, that in a red corner notice, you will be arrested wherever you are. In a blue corner notice, the government, wherever you are, is duty bound to inform the whereabouts of the person who's been excused, who's absconding. So, therefore, in this case, if his whereabouts come to the knowledge of the government in Germany, they will be duty bound to inform the Indian government, and Indian government will then take action. This is what the law is as far as the blue collar notice is concerned. Now, the second part of it, till the time he has the passport, the diplomatic passport, he cannot be touched. That is a fact. And for 90 days, he cannot be touched. But what can happen is that the German government can say that, listen, we don't want you, and then send him back to India. That has been done in a number of occasions. It's also been done by the government of India when there was a French person, there was a scandal that he was molesting minors, etc. He was sent back to France, and at that time there was a huge row in the news, etc. That why could he not be arrested? And then we had to explain that, listen, this is an international understanding. You cannot arrest a diplomat. It doesn't come under the laws of that country, etc. So as far as this gentleman Ravanna is concerned, he does enjoy the diplomatic immunity from arrest. But that does not mean that he can stay very happily in Germany for days to come.
But the onus is on Germany, right? Kapil ji, the onus is on Germany to see whether they say, listen, we don't want you. There are allegations of sexual abuse and violations against you. That's the main story and the question I will keep asking unless this man is brought back to India. Day 20. Where is Prajwal Revanna? I know all of you are also asking that question. Dr. Kapil Sankhla, advocate of Supreme Court, is with us, as also a very senior police official who is former Commissioner of Police, Mr. Bhaskar Rao. Mr. Rao, you know, we did a lot of research on the diplomatic passport thing. My colleague has sent me this. There is this Type D passport barred from personal or commercial use, sir. Now, what does this mean? Can you decode this in case? I mean, I know that you are a cop. I mean, you're not somebody who works in the visa or the, you know, customs department. But apparently, Type D passport is barred from personal or commercial use. What does that mean, sir?
Probably they are not a part of delegation or something. Or you never know, the immigration authorities are the best judges of what kind of a passport to be allowed. As long as they have a valid passport, the immigration authorities, it's their decision.
All right. Now, Mr. Rao, I will go slightly askance on this and ask you, because you're a cop and I know that cops never look at what is obvious. You only look at what is hidden from everyone, and that's why you're such super cops. Apparently, these alleged video clips were, you know, being distributed in and around Hassan for days together. It is only later when it snowballed into a big controversy. Apparently, many in the government knew about its existence. Many in the alliance partner BJP also knew about it. Do you think Prajwal Revanna used his political influence to slip away, Mr. Rao? Very simply.
Well, these are all very conjectural questions and conjectural answers.
Right.
We have to get to what is the facts in front of us, because it is a criminal investigation, and that too, the fugitive happens to be a member of parliament. So what was there earlier, etc., is only guesswork and part of political gossip, but not of any investigation. So I will refrain from commenting on what is political gossip over there. I will only concentrate on what is the facts of the case. If he has fled from the country, it is not that he has gone away and he can do whatever he wants. Even if you have a diplomatic passport, nobody is above the law of the land. 20 days is quite a long time. After he has fled the country, an SIT has been created. All I say is that an SIT should be empowered. SIT should be empowered to communicate with Government of India, CBI and Interpol to secure the fugitive over there. If it has not been able to do it, or it is in the process of doing, it should complete investigation and submit an absconding charge sheet. After an absconding charge sheet is submitted, here in this case it is possible, because it is not a murder case, etc., where you have to collect a weapon, or 27 Evidence Act leads you to a place of crime, etc. Only 162, 161 and 164 statements and circumstantial evidence on the FSL, which they have already gone over there.
I was reading several newspapers, Mr. Rao, the SIT.
One second, man, let me complete. Yeah. Once the absconding charge sheet has been given, the court can be moved to declare him a proclaimed offender. Once he's a proclaimed offender, his property can be attached. So there are several ways in which the SIT can secure his presence as per the provisions of CRPC. Whether the government of the day has empowered it to do so much is a moot question which the government can answer. But I'm surprised why the Honorable Home Minister of Karnataka has been saying that the SIT cannot go abroad. I can tell you two clear instances. Once when I was Commissioner of Police, we secured a person from Senegal.
Mr. Rao, hold that thought. Mr. Rao, I don't want the viewers to miss what you're going to say, Mr. Rao. Interesting discussion, but a very unfortunate question, ladies and gentlemen. Day 20, where is Prajwal Revanna? That's what we are all asking. Bhaskar Rao, former Commissioner of Police, Bengaluru, is with us, and Dr. Kapil Sankhla, Advocate, Supreme Court. Before we took a break, Mr. Rao said the SIT is wrong when it says it cannot go abroad. Over to you, Mr. Rao.
Yeah, see, we have had instances earlier when we had constituted special investigation team which went to Senegal as well as to Morocco, and we brought back fugitives like Bananjay Raja and Ravi Pujari. I had sent my additional joint commissioner after having taken all the permission from state government as well as government of India. So how do you say that the SIT is barred from going abroad? You have to empower. The SIT is an investigative organization, so it should be given due independence, due resources, and only the end result should be sought for. You cannot sit and dictate where you can go, where you cannot go, or what you should have or what you should not have. The purpose of having a SIT is to get the result of getting the fugitive back into the country. That's what I want to say.
All right. Mr. Rao says, of course, you can go. There are past precedents to do that. He's done it when he was in charge of this. Let me go to the lawyer, Dr. Kapil Sankhla. Dr. Kapil Sankhla, a major problem is being faced when it comes to registering the case, in the sense the women have refused to come forward. It is because of political fear, threats, etc. How does one deal with a case like this, sir? There are one or two cases, of course, where the woman has said clearly, allegedly, that, he exploited me sexually. But then, sir, according to a lot of women there in Karnataka, they say there are more than 2,000 cases. There could be one woman who's been repeatedly violated, sir. What happens in a case like this? I mean, if this man stays there for 90 days, you say, let me now announce that he's an absconder. तो ये तो रात गई बात गई वाली हो जाएगी ना. What about the punishment, sir?
Little correction with respect, it's not Bharat Gay, it's Raat Gay, Baat Gay, but it's been very sweetly said. As far as the law is concerned, registration of FIR, there are three different routes by which FIR can be registered. The section is 156(3). The first is, of course, where somebody comes to the police and says, listen, I have seen a cognizable offense that has taken place, please register the FIR, which is in this case the victims or somebody who's viewed it. The victims have refused to come. The second is the police officer or any person who's aware of a cognizable offense having taken place can register the FIR, which is what should have been done in this case. An FIR can be registered suo moto, saying that it has come to our knowledge such and such cognizable offense has taken place. The third, very rare, is where on a 156(3), the judicial officer registers an FIR and directs a registration of FIR. So there are three different routes where the FIR can be registered. Here, the evidence is on the wall, facing us, looking at us and waiting for the police to register FIR. It can be registered. It should have been registered. Suo moto, cognizance should have been taken place. Investigation should take place. Now, the second point, SIT has been, is already there. SIT is already investigating. SIT is a very powerful body. I am in complete, I'm completely with the gentleman, and I completely agree that the SIT has to be empowered, because yes, there are past precedents where SIT has taken, has gone to foreign countries, etc., to bring somebody to investigate, to find evidence, etc. There are many cases like that. Lastly, Section 10, subsection 3, if I'm not wrong, of the Passport Act says that where a cognizable offense is there, where the guilty somebody has already been punished, his diplomatic passport can be cancelled. But interestingly, where an FIR is also registered and the FIR is serious in nature, then there is a discretion to also cancel the diplomatic, not an absolute right, but a discretion. Where there is, at times, for safety purpose, they would say that judicial intervention is required, but that is not very difficult in this case, because as I said, the evidence is there.
Yeah, right. And Kapilji, you and Mr. Rao, you're all experts, domain experts. I'm a journalist, but my gender is different, and unfortunately, in all this blue corner notice, whether he's an absconder, diplomatic passport, there are thousands and thousands of women who must be holding their heads and hanging their heads in shame, which they should not do, and really be suffering. It is such a blot on Karnataka. I am from the south, you know, and I always thought that we in the south are slightly more empowered. I am not saying North Indian women are not empowered. Please don't get me wrong. I grew up here. But the point is, I thought the south was slightly different, if not, you know, more cognizable when it comes to women. But today it is such a pity. Let me thank both of you.